Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is often said in the English idiom, cometh the hour, cometh the man, and in case of markets, cometh the hour, cometh the company. We are joined by the CMD and CEO of Zen Technologies, Mr. Ashok Atluri, to discuss what has been a time when all defense stocks are going 6 trading sessions 5%, which is the maximum allowed. Namaste Ashok ji, a very warm welcome. I am sure you are in a state of Zen.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been in a state of Zen, given the fact that I do something that I love to do, which is, serving the country and in such a great field. I really feel blessed. So thank you for having me here, Mr. Bhatnagar.
Begin analyzing the numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, will now be running past your screen. Just let me give a very basic idea. Sales have risen 130% year on year to 325 crores. Net profit has gone up by a whopping 203% at 114 crore rupees, and EBITDA has risen 174% at 138 crore rupees. Mr. Atluri, now let's get into details. Could you please tell us this sterling rise in net profit, 114 crores up 200%. What were the reasons?
Remember, we have more than doubled the turnover of the company. And, so in keeping in aligned with that, the profits have also doubled almost. Yeah, I mean, more than doubled, but then we also have some other income in terms of the fixed deposits, etc. But otherwise, yes, the turnover itself has grown significantly from 430 crores to 970 crores. So that accounts for most of the upswing in the profits.
Okay, then let's focus first on the top line. What orders, new geographies, what clicked well for Zen Technologies?
This is the initially bought certain items and wanted to test it out, especially since it was for a private company with self-funded R&D. They wanted to be doubly sure. So once they've got the wind of it that the product are not only good, they're the best in the world, they have started scaling up at this point in time. Ordinary support from the government of India for exports has also helped us their purchases, and at the same time tremendous amount of support to Indian domestic.
Yes. Mr. Atluri, 4-day clash that we had with the Pakistani military was drubbed to. How did they fare?
So, obviously for good reasons, I can't tell more, but the feedback from the ground is that our anti-drone system at Zen felt almost redeemed, that all the work that I have done worked well for the country that we were working for at the right time, at the right. More details are awaited when they share with us, and when if they allow us to share, we'll definitely come on public platforms and share more openly about it.
Right. When you talk about outside orders or export orders, what are the geographies or what are the nations that are approaching you? As a percentage of total sales, what was exports in the fourth quarter?
So, the geographies that we are focusing on are the Middle East, Africa, and CIS countries. And so we look for reasons, the countries when they buy the from which you are buying, etc. Because It has been almost 30% of our sales, I think, and so that is so I think that will continue as we go, and so out of the total export has about 353 crores. So yes, so that is the kind of sale that we are having, and we expect that exports overall will all continue to contribute. Maybe some years they may be down, but overall, I think 30-40% is what our target, internal target is.
Okay. When you look at the overall picture of research and development, Mr. Atluri, some time ago you had raised a QIP to fund this process. Now, what are the new products in the pipeline as far as Zen Technologies is concerned?
So the raise that we did QIP was basically for increased working capital needs of companies. So, and of course R&D was also one of the
yes.
Reasons for the raise. But acquisitions, 3 acquisitions were announced during this in the last quarter, and out of that, one is ARI, that's Applied Research International, which is into naval and marine simulation, and that's a very good acquisition. And as was our strategic objective, that from Army we want to get into. Second company we acquired was called very big, very important player. I know they aren't big, but wherever when we started looking at drone companies, most of the drone companies were saying we are indigenizing using vector products. So fortunately at that point in time, Vector approached us for investment, and we were able to do the investment. They are into automation and robotics. So that's another area of focus for us, automated weapon stations and surveillance stations are another area of focus for us. So yeah, overall, I think it was that really multiplies Zen's innate strengths.
Mr. Atluri, at this point of time, the operating margin of Zen Technologies stands at a whopping 44%. Let me just recheck this number. March 29% in the third quarter and 36% in the year ago quarter of March 2024. What caused this sudden spurt in operating margin, and is it sustainable?
So yeah, so what we have been telling our investors is a sustainable margin is around 35%, and that's what we internally try to set. Sometimes due to efficiencies or some export orders where quantity isn't much, but but the margins are higher, we get better margins. But I think at a sustainable level, we should aim at 35%. Yeah.
Okay, so 35 is something that can be achieved over the longer term, and of course, this is an exceptional at this point of time. Mr. Atluri, would you want to comment on the changed nature of warfare that was witnessed in this 4-day battle between India and Pakistan, in which the Pakistani military really got defeated because they haven't invested much in technology? What are your global peers telling you about this changed landscape?
Ms. Bhatnagar, very early in 2018, when we wanted to enter into this field, what we saw was that everybody was talking about drones, how they will, how they will be used in wars. But what struck me at that point was, why isn't anybody talking about the asymmetric damage that is being done? How to prevent the damage? There was, complete silence there. Sometimes you see the silence is the signal. And, when we discovered that, at that point on, there's no encouragement, nobody talking about anti-drone systems. So we started investing in that, and, and fortunately we see that that became one of the major factors, and it has become a major factor for not only for India, but other countries also. So what we hear from other, in fact, Elon Musk famously said the most foolish investment in this environment is an F-35, and he said it's broken at requirements, worst value for money. And his say, which aligned with my own view of the warfare, is that it's going to be completely driven by drones, and and the attacks can be thwarted only by competent, and powerful anti-drone systems. So this is what the view was, and this was first realized in 2020 when Azerbaijan and Armenia had a war, and that was still reinforced in Ukraine-Russia. Some countries have tried to, and again, these countries may be okay to handle, okay to maybe heavy on other countries, but India has its own ecosystem. This government has really encouraged IDDM category. That is the most important category where IP is there with India, and we keep evolving, keep doing R&D and getting better and better at the product. Just not becoming, a lot of people get TOT and try to be manufacturing coolies here for some foreign. And when we want to evolve the next technology, again go and beg them for another TOT. No, that's not the way it has to be. The IP has to be owned in India. We have to keep evolving the technology, and we can, the thing is that we are strong. We have the capability, we have the people, and we have the inclination to do that. So given all this, I think, we are completely on track. We were on track, and we were able to beat them down, fair and square. And but again, I would say that what had happened last, for 4 days was almost a trailer of what's going to happen in future. And I don't think it has stopped. It is only a pause, and this strategic pause should be used by Indian government to really help the industry accelerate its R&D efforts and equip itself to the teeth, so that when the war happens, not only they are able to fight as the equipment, ammunition, etc. is being expended, the industry has the capacity to refurbish at a furious pace for a full-fledged multi-front war. So that is the capacity that needs to be built within the industry also.
Okay. When you look at the future trajectory of Zen, we are now in the first quarter of 2025-26 financial year. What is the feedback that you are getting from the Indian Armed Forces for repeat orders? What does the guidance look like, and how do you see yourself over the same quarter next year?
So, we were able to very confidently say that, we'll cross 900 crores during the year, much earlier, and we did meet the target. But this year, what we are saying that we are being cautious because the order book is around 690 crores, including the anti-drone and including the annual maintenance contracts. So part of that will be executed, and then we are expecting some more orders to come through in the very clear. We think we'll have a much better during the year. But just Mr. Bhattagar, we have been saying that, 28, 3 years, we will go on an average CAGR of 50%. That says for the 3 years, we will achieve a turnover of 6,000 crores. And we think we are on track for the 6,000 crore target, even if there is a muted year this year.
Full year number for Zen Technologies has been 974 crores. Let's just round it off to 1,000 for the sake of convenience. So 50% CAGR on 1,000 would be say 1,500. And how do you think profit will move? So far you are at 300 crores.
So we had done the CAGR on 900 crores that we had estimated earlier, which was 1,350 crores. And we think that both the EBITDA and the profit margins, what we are targeting of 35 and 25%, will be sustained even at those high levels of turnover. So again, I'm saying that 1,350.
Fair point. So
1,350 would not be the target, because again I'm saying that this year is going to be muted. But when you combine 1,350, 2,000 and 3,000 crores, that comes to 6,000 crores. That we are saying that we will be able to achieve over the next 3-year period. This year we expect it to be a bit muted. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the broader guidance. In terms of geographies, do you see further expansion in terms of new clients or new nations wanting to line up for Zen Technologies products? Do you think there will be a physical expansion in those as well?
So we do three regions now: Africa, Middle East, and CIS countries. We are, as we speak, we are planning to expand into both US and into EU. And EU will be an interesting market because EU, there is going to be a FTA between us, free trade agreement, and that should help us penetrate that market without having to set up the manufacturing facility there. Whereas in the case of US, we are exploring to set up the industry. We almost finalized the place. So the next actions are there for the establishing the manufacturing facility in US.
Okay, fair point. Any closing thoughts, Mr. Atluri? Like I said in our earlier conversation, that you seem to be in a state of Zen. This opportunity that has come for drone makers literally from the sky, how do you see the drone ecosystem growing in India? Are you seeing more entrepreneurs getting it? Are you seeing maybe larger companies wanting to buy out smaller players? What is your understanding of the peer environment for drones in India?
So, first, as you said, very interesting origin of the word Zen. It comes from a Chinese word called Chan, and Chan comes from a Sanskrit word called Dhyana. So, the state of Zen is being in a state of Dhyana where, your body and mind are in reconciled state. So, I'm absolutely in the Zen state. There is no doubt about that. Having said that, I would like to say that, the ecosystem is absolutely moving towards a global kind of ecosystem. The government has supported, and I see they are doubling down on the promise of supporting the industries. And we think that industry is not only going to help the Indian armed forces, but also all Indian allies to upgrade their defense systems. So we will not only India but all Indian allies will absolutely be in the top form in the years to come. And the Indian government is doing its best to enable us to achieve that number one position in the world, both in terms of drones and anti-drone systems.
Right. With that wonderful thought, Mr. Atluri, we'll call it a day as far as the fourth quarter performance is concerned. Truly, you are at a point where broader tailwinds are backing you, and this fantastic performance both in net profit and top line. The performance of your drones, which the government of India, the armed forces, will share in a while in the coming quarters and this year. Ashok Atluri, Chairman and CEO, that has done fourth quarter and promises to have an. Please continue with Business Today Television. There's a lot that's happening on the other side of this break.
Pakistan's partner in crime has been exposed. In details exclusively accessed by India Today, sources reveal that China did not just provide arms to Pakistan, but provided operatives too. The Pakistan-Turkey-China tango is now clear, as sources have confirmed to